Welcome back. I'm Nadine Atkinson Flowers, and we are going to be talking about various immigration scenarios because from time to time, persons say, well, this is my situation. Is there any relief for me? Can I get to stay in America? Or they might say, my situation is so bad or so dire, I don't have any possible way of staying. Or worse, they may go to persons who offer bad advice or to persons who say, oh, my situation is just like yours and this is what you do. Fortunately, there is good advice out there. You just need to make sure that you get good advice about your case. So we're going to talk about some immigration scenarios that play out from time to time. And the first one that I'm going to focus on is something that happens a lot. Persons come to the US on various types of visas, and let's say they get married, and the spouse is to put the documentation in the petition for this person to remain in the United States. So let's call him John. This is our scenario, immigration scenario. John comes in and he came in as a student and he overstayed his student visa. He met and fell in love with Irene, and Irene is going to be putting in the documentation for him to do what is called adjustment of status. You can check out other videos on the YouTube platform about adjustment of status. So he is going to be adjusting his status. But Irene begins to say, I'm not going to do it. You're a horrible husband. And she gets physical with him. One evening, things come to a very serious impasse where she actually pulls out her licensed firearm and he leaves the home. He goes back because obviously he doesn't have anywhere to stay, and John endures this kind of abuse from his wife for perhaps a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. The abuse ranges from her pulling her weapon on him, her threatening to call immigration authorities, physical altercation between himself and her, and he is thinking to himself, there is nothing that I can do in this scenario. But that is not so. There is a legislation that has been put in whereby a spouse, a male or female spouse, can actually adjust their status in the United States to that of permanent resident if they can prove with evidence to the immigration authorities that one, they entered lawfully in the United States, two, they are married to a United States citizen, and three, that they have been battered, whether it's physical abuse, mental abuse, other types of abuse by the spouse, by the U.S. citizen spouse. In essence, this person, such as John, would put in what we call a self-petition under VAWA, the Violence Against Women's Act, but it is extremely useful for men who have suffered at the hands of their spouses. And the process requires that significant amount of documentation is submitted. And in fact, it also requires that John, or whoever the spouse is that is alleging that he or she has been battered, provide evidence that the marriage was bona fide. So those three things, as I said, are very important. One, that they entered lawfully. Two, married to a United States citizen, and the marriage is bona fide, the marriage is real. And three, that the U.S. spouse has committed significant amount of violence, whether it's physical, sexual, mental, all of those types of acts against the beneficiary, as it were, and there is significant evidence of this kind of abuse. Such a person can become a United States permanent resident, and that person will not have to continue to suffer the abuse of this United States spouse simply because the beneficiary spouse wants to get their green card. Call us, email, like us on Instagram, check out our YouTube channel. We have lots more information that is very, very useful for persons who are seeking to remain in the United States, come to the United States, whether to work, live, study, or play. We have lots more information on the YouTube channel as well, and you can also check out our website. Next time, we'll talk more about how persons can adjust their status. What good?